This is the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene.
You look at my numbers, I'm balling.
Beer City's best sports talk is on the air. Get involved. Call 252-4348. Tweet the show at Sports Tank ESPN. The Sports Tank. Come get you some of this.
Can't wait.
It's ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We are live in the Ingles studio. And, of course, the first hour of the program, as always, brought to you by Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings. Got a lot to talk about today. We got coronavirus in the news. Jeremy loves talking about the coronavirus.
Oh, that's my favorite topic. It falls in somewhere between birds and random dogs.
Big old question marks not only on the Olympics over in Tokyo, but also, as you heard in the top of the hour Sports Center right there, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder 3 could be in jeopardy as well. We'll talk about those. We've got some UFC news as well. Conor McGregor says he took it easy on Dustin Poirier. He was looking beyond him. He was looking forward to the boxing match that he wanted to carry out after the last Poirier fight. Yeah, okay. We got Tar Heel news as well to get into, plus all of your favorites just a bit outside. We got weird news coming up next hour, and, of course, your green on green picks for tonight's Game 2 of the NBA Finals between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. We'll have your Monkey Knife Fight play of the night as well. So, first off, I guess we got to say, don't do crimes. Don't do crimes. James Harden apparently got detained in Paris. He was hanging out with Lil Baby and,
he didn't do
Kanye
crimes.
West. We don't know that.
No, we do. It's come out what he did.
Oh, has it? Okay.
Apparently, Lil Baby and whoever, there were 3 in the car.
Yes.
Well, they had pot in the car.
Uh-huh.
And James Harden was right down the street and tried to intervene.
Oh, he tried to intervene.
I'm not kidding. This just came out on Twitter right before we went on.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yep, he tried to intervene, and apparently French police, James Harden's in Paris for Fashion Week. Mm-hmm. Apparently French police did not ask, nor did they desire his opinion on the situation. And when he gave it, they did not necessarily appreciate it.
No, they detained him. He was not, I think it was first originally reported that he was arrested by French police. That is not the case. They detained him, so apparently we have now found out that they have detained him, or they did detain him because he intervened when the cops smelled weed in the car carrying Lil Baby and Kanye West. Don't do crimes. Don't do crimes. Don't hang out with people that do crimes, and don't try to defend people that do crimes. How about that? Can we just all agree? Apparently 20 grams of weed was found in the car. And, yeah, we'll see if anything else develops out of this story.
So, I didn't preface that we were going to talk about this in the opening segment.
Okay.
I've been in meetings all day, so this is going to be a fun show. It's going to be a lot of, hey, let's do stuff. Did you happen to see that the number for Game 1 came out?
No, the NBA Finals Game 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, let's take a guess.
You want to take a guess at what the average number was?
6.5.
Okay, that's lower than last year. It's not that you are so bad at this game.
I either hit it spot on or go way too high or too low.
Yeah. The finals last year, Lakers Heat, lowest rated ever, $7.45 million for Game 1.
Right.
It was 8.5.
8.5?
Yeah. 8th lowest rated finals game or 7th lowest rated finals game of all time. Mm-hmm. So, but that's up 13% from last year.
It is. It is. We're back on the climb with the NBA Finals.
Do you know what it's down from 2019?
From 2019? I don't know. 5 million?
It's more than that. It's down 45%.
Jeez.
From 2019 to 2021. And yet people keep trying to say, oh, but the ratings are rebounding. No, they're not. No, they're not. So
Well,
you're telling me it's up 13% from the worst it's ever been. It's never been worse in your history, and it's never even been close.
Yeah.
Stop with the fake narrative. It's a fake narrative. It's up 13% from the lowest ratings you've ever had. Mm-hmm. It's still not rating well, just exactly like I told you it wouldn't. CNBC actually is who put the article out.
Okay.
And I kid you not, one of the bullet points so you have the headline and then 2 bullet points and then the story. The second bullet point was 20-year highs for Phoenix and Milwaukee's market. Well, you don't say.
Shocker.
Well, you could just push me over with a feather. It rated well in the home city of the 2 teams that are in it.
Yeah.
And other than that, it was a great big. That's what I tried to tell you.
Yeah.
Everybody always says, "Oh, I want parity, and I don't want to see LeBron and Steph Curry anymore." Well, weird. You don't have them, and the ratings have rebounded, and you're still not watching it. There you go.
I mean, more are watching it this year than last year, so
that's not saying
a bit
much.
of a rebound.
You can't say
there's no rebound. This 13% growth year over year, and as you know, a year over year increase is good news. Couldn't have got worse. But at least they're up to 8.5 million.
Just for posterity's sake, because we all know
in a game that everybody expected the Stars not to play, or at least the Star not to play.
We all know that Jeremy likes being
right
more than he likes being
alive.
Bingo. 8.5 is what game 1 of the NBA Finals drew.
Yeah.
What was an average Thursday night football on NFL Network rating last year?
12.
14. Yeah. A Thursday night football game that may very well be between the Jaguars and the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Almost double.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you want to know why football, because people ask us all the time, why do you try to shoehorn in football topics?
Right.
That's
there
why.
There you go.
Why do you not talk about baseball? That's why. That's why. Because your eyeballs are what we're gauging this off of.
Mm-hmm.
You watch one, you don't watch the other.
So here comes the question. Does it really hurt these sports leagues when smaller franchises get into the finals?
Yes.
When smaller market franchises are involved in the championships, how much does it really matter? Because here you got in the NBA, you got Milwaukee and Phoenix, and what have we been what have been championing since last night? Tampa Bay, baby. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. The Tampa Bay Lightning just finished off the Montreal Canadiens last night in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Second year in a row that they have won the Stanley Cup. You had the Tampa Bay Rays in the World Series last year against the LA Dodgers. How much do small markets really hurt the ratings?
I'm curious how close you can get.
Okay.
What was the total? We don't have the total for Game 5. That won't be out until tomorrow.
Okay.
It takes a full day to get these back. What do you think the rating of Game 4? This is on NBC Network. What do you think the rating was for Game 4
of the Stanley Cup Finals?
Mm-hmm.
5.5.
2.6.
2.6. I was trying to give him a big boost.
Ta-da!
This is why we don't talk hockey.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And for me, that speaks to a bigger narrative. Sports has become incredibly niche-y.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people that are very passionate about hockey. There's not a lot of them.
Right.
There are people that are very passionate about baseball. There's just not a lot of them.
I think it's also changed the way you consume the games. Now, this is not going to be the cord-cutting scenario.
No.
This is not going to be the cord-cutting argument.
That's been debunked so hard.
The cord-cutting?
Yes.
Yeah. No, this is not where I'm going with this. What I'm saying is, with the attention spans of today's youth and younger people, I mean, heck, even when you're getting up in your 30s and your 40s of people in America today, attention spans are not what they once were. And now you can consume sports more on a highlight level. I think that's why, Sports Center continues to thrive as a TV program. Highlight shows, all of the clicks that they get on the website of the highlights of every game, you can consume and you feel like you can get the story from not watching the game at all. Whereas back in the day, I mean, I heard Adam Gold talking earlier today here on ESPN Asheville about the All-Star game, Major League Baseball All-Star game. 30 million people back in the day used to watch the All-Star game. Well, it's not that way anymore. Because you don't have to watch it to find out what happens. I think that was a lot to do with it. First, you didn't have 17 million channels and on-demand stuff to choose from to take your eyeballs away from the sports like you do today. And secondly, even if you're a diehard fan, you don't really have to tune in to see what happened. You'd have to wait for the paper to come out the next day to find out what happened in the game. You didn't want to do that. There you go. You're going to have to watch the game. And it boosted the numbers. You're never going to have sports pulling numbers like that again.
The NFL. That's all that pulls a number.
But not like 30 million. I mean, for the Super Bowl, that's it.
No, I mean, you draw 20 for network games.
Mm-hmm.
And you do. The big teams in the NFL pull a number. Just since we're on the topic,
yeah,
Major League Baseball All-Star Game.
Yep.
It's the highest rated game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it pulled in 2019, the last year that we did this?
12.
8.1.
8. Okay.
It's right there. They're all together. Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NHL's below it, but they're all together. They become niche sports. And we're more interested in the narrative than the product on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if there's any coming back from that. I don't know how you fix that problem. Because I talk to a lot of people, obviously, about sports. There's a lot of people that know what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I constantly hear the same thing. I love being at the game,
mm-hmm.
but in terms of just sitting down and consuming it, it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I consume it in a small sports center. I like how you said that. A small sports center take.
Right.
That's it. That's it. That's how all of these things are consumed. And so for me, the question that you originally asked me, does it hurt having small market teams? Yes. Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. Because
the Boston Celtics have more than 8 million dormant fans by themselves. That if the Celtics were in this, they'd be watching. LA Lakers, same way. Now, last year, you didn't have any fans. It was in the bubble. There were
a lot of things going on with the NBA that people were boycotting and such.
Yeah, and you take all of those things
mm-hmm.
together and you say, oh, that affected the number.
Yep.
I will be honest with you. I think the NBA should be encouraged by this number, but not for the reason that you keep getting told.
Okay.
It's not that it's up 13%. It's that it's up 13% and you still have a lot of things working against you. You have two teams that are not, there's not a real narrative here. I mean, it's Chris Paul's first finals.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. Chris Paul doesn't, outside of some State Farm commercials, he doesn't draw to that does your mother know who he is market.
Right.
He doesn't fall into that. He's not LeBron. He's not Steph. He's not on and on and on and on. You're having all of these things happen. Giannis is hurt. There's been 1 million injuries. And you still threw an 8.5. That should be encouraging to the NBA.
I'd agree.
I just think you need to stop pushing this false narrative. And Adam Silver came out yesterday and said, the play-in game's here to stay. Why? There's one very simple reason for why he's trying to push that so hard.
TV money.
Because it's generated a number.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember exactly where this falls in, but I want to say the 2 elimination games, the Lakers and Warriors elimination play-in game, that was 2 of the 5 highest rated games of the year.
Mm-hmm. I think they got 6 for that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Outside of late playoff games, they're highest rated games of the year. Mm-hmm. That's why you're going to keep seeing these things.
Mm-hmm. And what did that play-in game include?
Golden State.
Big stars.
Steph Curry.
Uh-huh.
LA Lakers. LeBron James.
Anthony Davis.
To a lesser degree.
I mean, he
qualified.
He gets a little bit. Mm-hmm. You got to give the unibrow a little bit of love on that one. I like it as a sports fan, as a diehard sports fan, but I get that smaller markets don't pull numbers. I understand that. But the NBA is going to spin this any possible way that they can and say, see, look, it's growth. And that's the position that you have to take.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fastest growing audience in the history of the NBA.
That's not even true. The Jordan Bulls have that, and you're not going to touch it.
Oh, from year to year, the increase that they had, yeah.
Yeah, when Michael Jordan became Air Jordan, that was the greatest growth they'd ever seen. And you won't touch it.
No doubt. I don't think any sport will ever touch that again. I don't think the NFL will ever get there. I think the NFL has actually reached a peak. I don't know that they could do any better than they've been doing.
Can they do better?
Right.
No, probably not. I mean, it's funny. You look at the ratings books. It's 50 NFL games and 25 just random other things. Mm-hmm. It's every single year. And people get upset with us because, why do you just talk football all the time? Because more of you care about that. Mm-hmm. Point blank. That's what it is.
I think it's truly the only national sport we have left.
I agree with you. That was kind of the net of what I was trying to prove there.
Yeah. Yep. I was going to try to come up with another one, but I couldn't because I was going to say college football, but that's not true. College football might be more regional than any other sport.
No,
as far as
that's not. I would say college football's a 2.
Really,
100%.
But it doesn't do all that well.
The college football play, it doesn't do well out west. Okay, here's the thing. That's 10% of the population. Mm-hmm. And the vast majority of that's in California. And guess what? If USC's in it, or UCLA's never in it, but if they ever were, guess what? It would do reasonably well.
Uh-huh.
And I have a belief of why this is. I feel like and I kind of feel like we're to blame.
Okay, how am I to blame?
But not you directly. Us as sports media.
What did I do?
Because now you have all of this niche content.
Uh-huh.
There's so many UFC podcasts and NHL and all these things. And then you come to people like us that are speaking to the masses. What exactly do you expect us to talk about? We come together for production meetings every day.
Uh-huh.
And do you know what we talk about every morning? How can we find a way to get football in it today?
Mm-hmm.
We did the Sportsocracy this morning, 10 a.m., YouTube Live, Facebook Live, every weekday morning. Find us at the Sportsocracy. We do a show this morning. It's all football. NFC South, best worst case scenarios. Weird. Highest rated show we've done in a month.
Yep.
Highest rated show we've done since the NFL draft. And I own a draft website.
Look for NFLdraft.net coming your way August 1st.
August 2nd.
August 2nd.
August 1st is a Sunday.
Jeremy doesn't work on weekends.
I knew that.
Jeremy don't work on weekends.
Well, here's the thing. By that time, if it's more than just hit a button, I have done something horribly wrong.
You're very right.
But the teaser trailer will be out tomorrow.
Right. Football rules the world. NFL football rules the world.
Mm-hmm. The NFL draft literally outrates every major sport until it either gets really competitive or it's big market teams.
Yep.
And that's where it's at. That's where we are. And
really?
so what got me thinking about this is that I see a lot of vitriol for people that do what we do because they do niche content. Well, you have to. You have to. Mm-hmm. You don't have a choice. We can't sit here and talk NFL football for 260-something dates a year. We got to throw some basketball in there.
Mm-hmm.
We don't throw baseball in there, but, you got one of the hosts that just refuses to watch it, so sorry.
Oh, why not? Let's talk some baseball when we come back from the break. Right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Here in Beer City, we take homegrown seriously. And since 2012, Wicked Weed Brewing has been pushing the boundaries of the industry. They've not only created staples like the Freak of Nature Double IPA, Lieutenant Dank, and Pernicious, but they also opened the first sour beer tap room on the East Coast. Wicked Weed has also supported our local community to the tune of $1.6 million with the Beers That Build program. Visit one of their 4 locations, schedule a brewery tour, or place an order for pickup or delivery. WickedWeedBrewing.com. It's ESPN Asheville. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene with you. And since we're on the topic, let's talk some baseball for a couple of minutes here before we get just a bit outside. Shohei Ohtani. Have you even paid enough attention to baseball to see what is happening right now with Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, he's an all-star pitcher and an all-star batter.
The greatest two-way player we've ever seen in Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. They are already crowning him better than Babe Ruth, which I think is obvious. I mean, just because of the generational. There's no reason to believe that. I would probably say 75% of today's athletes are better than Babe Ruth ever thought about being.
I've always said Babe Ruth today he'd be the last batter at the end of the bench for that.
At best, he'd be Prince Fielder.
At best.
At best.
Man, baseball people hate when you say that.
Oh, I know they do.
They're wrong, but, it's what it is.
They're completely wrong. They are completely wrong. But Shohei Ohtani hit his 32nd home run of the season yesterday against the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, for future reference, I call that the Bill Walton rule.
The Bill Walton rule?
Bill Walton is marginally more athletic than I am.
Yeah.
He would have never played a second in the modern NBA.
Could you think of a player today that we might know that you would equate him to?
Bill Walton?
Yeah.
Brian Scalabrine.
Hot.
Yeah, with less of a jump shot.
Nice. It's not good.
No.
Not good at all.
No, I've gotten some vitriol for that over the years.
That's fine.
And then I usually break into the Bill Walton impression and, make him laugh, make him laugh.
Of course, the baseball purists are all rankling at, he's not better than Babe Ruth. Well, I'm going to beg to differ. He's by far now the best Japanese home run hitter we've ever seen.
I think he just set the record for most home runs in a season.
For a season!
It's not even the All-Star break yet.
We're 3 games away from the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. And he just hit his 32nd home run, which is more than Hideki Matsui ever hit in a single season in his career.
And he was a great power hitter.
Absolutely.
This is what
he was the Yankees.
And this kind of ties into what we talked about in the first segment. You have to build stars.
Yes.
Because we've made it very clear. And I don't know if I'm breaking some illusion that people have in their heads. For the vast majority, the majority of sports fans at this point care more about the name on the back than the name on the front.
Yes. It's
just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need me to prove that, I can prove it literally 5,000 different ways.
Right.
Sports freak Brian Hall and I were just talking out in the parking lot in between segments, and we were talking about the rating of the NBA game, or the game one.
Yeah.
And I said something to him that I didn't say in the opening segment that I meant to. Do you realize that if the Lakers hadn't played in last year's finals, it would have thrown like a 4?
Oh, yeah.
It would have gotten like a Stanley Cup number.
Right.
If you don't, but I almost wish there was a way for us to go back and know what that would have drawn.
If it had been Miami and Denver.
And I love Denver. It would have had me. That's about it. It would have had, you know what it would have done? It would have done the biggest number in Miami and Denver in 20-some-odd years.
There you go. Just like the NBA Finals just did for the markets of Milwaukee and Phoenix.
Sorry, I didn't mean to change your baseball topic.
It's all right. But you have a solid point. I mean, this is what baseball has not done well.
Ever.
Well, I'm not going to say ever.
They did it for one. Okay. So people like me, I used to really like baseball when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because you had stars. You had Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, on and on and on.
King Griffey Jr.
Yep, that's the best.
Everybody keeps leaving him out of that list, and I hate it.
Yeah, that's the best. That's actually the best example, if we're being honest.
He was the star. He was the face of Major League Baseball.
And then baseball dropped off the planet. Mm-hmm. Why? Because you kept trying to invalidate all of the stars that you had just built. I always said that was the dumbest thing of the steroid era. So you built up all of these stars that people my age grew up with, wearing their jerseys. And then you start going through Congress and all these other things to invalidate how they cheated the game. Secret, nobody my age cared. Not one. There was not one human. If you did, feel free, at Jay Greene ESPN on Twitter. Tell me you cared. Frankly, you know what? I'd say your name on air. Because you'd be the first one I've ever met in my entire life.
But you also have to follow that up with, I care, I am blank years old. Because I think there's a distinct line. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty much everybody older than us.
No, I would say it's even further than that. Now, you got to think, when those congressional things started, I was like in the 8th grade. I mean, I graduated high school in 2005.
God.
So, I would say anybody that was 45 or higher at that time, which would put you in that 60 to 65 range now.
Right.
And this is a theory that I've had for a long time with sports. I never understood why you pander to the smallest demographic. Just like Brian Hall, again, said this to me in the parking lot. Why do you tip these games off at 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
And the theory is that people on the West Coast can get home to see them. Who cares? That's 10% of the population. Why do you care?
Right. But we want to pull those California numbers.
By the way, doesn't rate well there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Television things don't rate well on the West Coast. Never have.
Why would they?
Well, because there's things to do. You're out, you're having cocktails and sitting on the beach and. Why do you work? I've never understood that.
The sun does not go down until 9 o'clock. You honestly think people are racing home in California to go watch a game that starts at 6? No.
That reminds me. After Just a Bit Outside, I want to say something that I have learned about the sun in the last 5 days.
Okay.
And it has got me so messed up that I thought today was Monday less than an hour ago.
Interesting.
I am just completely backwards as it gets.
Yeah. Shohei Ohtani is no doubt the best thing Major League Baseball has going for it right now. I also wonder if the fact that he is a foreign player, the fact that he's a Japanese player, also kind of hurts baseball.
I don't believe so.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, we all love the myth. We all love building these myths in sports. The mythical sports heroes. Shohei Ohtani he's Steve Nebraska. You have no idea who that is, do you?
I know that Steve is a man's name and Nebraska is a state somewhere over Texas.
It was a great movie called The Scout that came out in the 90s. It was a baseball movie. Albert Brooks played the manager of Steve Nebraska, who was the lights out home run hitting pitcher. He's the best two-way player since Babe Ruth. And now we have a Steve Nebraska in Major League Baseball. And what is baseball going to do with it? Well, they made him the number 1 seed in the Home Run Derby coming up on Monday. So,
and guess what? I'm going to watch it.
That'll be the headliner.
Yeah. And guess what? I'm going to watch it.
You should.
Somebody that doesn't watch it's completely #NoBaseball. I will watch the Home Run Derby
because it's going to be in Coors Field. They're going to have light air, and there's a report today that some of the guys closest to Shohei Ohtani say he's probably going to leave the ballpark a lot. The ballpark.
The whole place.
He'll
put one out in the parking lot.
He will hit it out of the ballpark in Colorado because the air is so thin.
In secret time, that's what people like me want to see.
Absolutely. I remember back to I think it was 1999 when the All-Star game was in Fenway Park. And do you remember the moonshots that Mark McGwire was hitting over the Green Monster, just hitting them on Lansdowne Street over
I
and
can
over
go one
and
step
over.
further than that. I remember King Griffey Jr. hitting the warehouse on the other side of Camden
Yards. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we want to see.
You know what I don't remember?
The New York Yankees had a triple play to end the baseball game because it was a tremendous baseball. It was a great defensive play, and the metrics of it with the shift. And
I don't know any of those things. I do not care. I specifically remember King Griffey Jr. turning his hat around backwards and just ripping home run balls out of the park.
Yep,
that I remember.
Yep, and you're going to see it on Monday coming up with the Home Run Derby.
The Sports Tank.
Just a bit outside.
all right, here's the 411, folks.
I know we try to steer away from politics as much as possible, but here's a news flash for you. Politicians lie.
No.
And they lie a lot.
No.
Especially when they're men and they're talking about their past sports exploits. Do you have any idea where I'm going with this?
Not even vaguely.
All right, so on Friday, almost a week ago, the Los Angeles Dodgers made their visit to the White House.
Oh.
They went to the White House.
I was trying to think of something funny.
I
was going to say a movie theater, but obviously that's not right.
And the Honorable Joe Biden gave the speech and was talking about how great it was, and he was like, you know what, I'm a heck of an athlete myself. You know, in one of my first congressional baseball games, because they do the congressional baseball game, Republicans against Democrats, he said he hit a 368-foot home run off the right center field wall. First off, if it goes off the wall, it's not a home run, right?
Correct.
Right. Anyhow, although if you've ever seen one of those games, yeah, if you hit it near the wall, you're probably going in because it's like Little League baseball. But anyhow,
I now have this vision of a senator in right field going, "I want a grape snow cone after game." That's usually what I hear from
grape's
the
my
outfielder.
favorite.
If strawberry also favorite.
So he said he hit a 368-foot home run off the right field wall. He says, my kids remember that. Okay. Well, the reporters went and did some digging to try to find out.
Let me guess. Didn't happen?
Didn't happen, not even kind of close. Nobody can even ever remember him actually making decent contact with the ball in one of the games. His first year in Congress was what? Take a guess.
1923.
No, well, you're off by 50 years. It was 1973.
I guess like you do.
1973 was his first year in Congress, and they went back looking through records to try to see if this actually ever did happen. Well, in his first game, he went 0 for 2. That was in 1974. 1975, because he said it was in the first couple of years that he was in Congress. 1975, he got stuck in traffic. He didn't even show up for the game on time, and actually only got one at-bat where he did absolutely nothing with it. Then the following year, he did get a single. So unless we're to believe that he hit a 368-foot single, he also couldn't remember what ballpark it was in.
You're making this entirely too easy on me.
I'm just trying to set you up here. I'm waiting for you to jump in. By the way, not the first time this has ever happened with old Joe. You remember when he was on the campaign trail? He's talking about when he went to the University of Delaware.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He went to Delaware.
Oh, wait, there was something.
And they did a campaign stop in Athens, Ohio. And he said, the last time I was here, I was playing for the Delaware Blue Hens football team against Ohio University. No. Because every year he was in school, there is no record of him ever playing football for Delaware. Although it was reported that he did play flag football in intramurals.
You tried to set me up, and I didn't take the bait not one time.
I am so proud of you. That's growth, Mr. Greene.
You know, I try. The Hubert Davis era at North Carolina has gained significant steam here recently, and it gained even more today as Dawson Garcia, from Marquette, withdrew his name from the NBA draft and decided to join the North Carolina Tar Heels. The reason I'm telling you this story is because it is unbelievable how much work Hubert Davis is currently doing on the recruiting trail. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the transfer portal, future classes, he's in on everybody. Mm-hmm. So if you were, look, and I'm really sad that Roy retired, and I'm going to miss Roy. I am really excited to see what Hubert Davis is getting ready to do with this program.
Shooting.
It's
we
unbelievable.
are going to shoot the lights out.
The amount of talent that he has added. I thought Carolina was probably a year away from being a true ACC contender.
Okay.
With the transfers they've added, that's going to be a really difficult team to beat.
Mm-hmm. He just added I don't know if he's at 40% three-point shooting, but he's somewhere in that ballpark. That Brady Manick kid from Oklahoma that has the long, beautiful, flowing mullet.
Yep. Big fan of that guy. Can't wait to meet him personally.
Second only to Jeremy Green's nastiness that he's got going on here.
I have one. There's one on my face. There's one on the back of my head. So.
Yeah. Dawson Garcia, remember, he was the one last year when we had to have the COVID game and Marquette came to Chapel Hill, lit up the Tar Heels. Mm-hmm. Lit up the Tar Heels. This is why teams are talking about we don't want to go play people anymore, because we're afraid that the smaller schools are talking about we're not going to play any of these big schools so they can scout our players. And North Carolina said, we'll take Marquette's guys.
You remember that guy that tortured us? Well, we would like him. We would like him to come play for us.
Right, but Garcia is 6'11". In the last 25 seasons, I saw this on the interweb, so I'm just going with it and playing like it's true. But in the last 25 years at North Carolina, players 6'11" or taller hit 7 three-pointers. 7 in 25 years.
Wow.
Players 6'11" or taller hit 7 3-pointers for the North Carolina Tar Heels in the last 25 years.
Do you have any idea who they are?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. Garcia last year hit 26. That's what Hubert Davis is doing. He is bringing in every possible shooter he can because that's his game. And he realizes that that is the future of the game. He's going to go out and get shooters, and this is how we're going to do it. I'm not saying he's going to turn North Carolina into, Golden State Warriors basketball, but I think everybody's kind of trending that way. Do you not agree?
The game is certainly going that way. I'm very encouraged at how Hubert has jumped into the job and seemingly, and I know it's not this way, but it seems to be this way. Every kid I've seen them legitimately in on has wound up at Carolina. Mm-hmm. I mean, John Shire's doing good things at Duke, too. I'm not trying to undersell him. It's just, this is what happened today.
Right. Between Brady Manick and the return of Armando Bacot and now, what is it, Danny Garcia?
Dawson Garcia.
Dawson Garcia, excuse me. I think Danny Garcia was a baseball player back in the day.
Danny Garcia was an actor. I know that for a fact. I could not place his face to save my life, but now you're going to make me Google it.
But no doubt, with Armando Bacot, with Brady Manick, and now with Dawson Garcia coming in, the front court is definitely going to be something to be reckoned with.
Danny Garcia is The Rock's ex-wife's name.
Aha! That's
partner in the XFL.
Sports, yes, that's the sports connection. Oh, and the XFL is not going to be teaming up with the CFL.
Yeah, and they won't be playing until 2023.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not a good sign.
But do you think it spells doom for the league, or is this not better to get your ducks in a row and figure out your structure? Because I think that's going to be the important part of the next iteration of the XFL, is to figure out what your place is in this new world where college athletes are going to be getting paid.
I don't disagree with you, but it's never, you lose momentum when you take this much time off. And the XFL had good momentum. Now, granted, they didn't have, it's not really like they chose this.
Right.
But it does make me a little nervous.
It doesn't make me nervous at all. Knowing what's behind them, I can't remember the name of the
Redbird Financial.
Thank you, Redbird Financial. I knew it was like Red Hook Capital or something like that. But Redbird Financial.
Or it might be Redbird Capital. It's one of the
something.
It's Redbird something.
With Danny Garcia and Dwayne Johnson behind this thing, I don't think there's any concern, or I don't have any concern, that they're going to be able to pull it together. They just need a little bit more time. And you know what? That's fine. The eyeballs are going to be there. The eyeballs will be there whenever they decide that they can get this on the field. And I would much rather them build a firm foundation for the XFL rather than try to launch this year and then have to fold in 2 years because they didn't plan properly. This gives them enough time to get enough investors involved, get enough cities involved, and maybe 2 years from now they will be back on the table, at the negotiating table with the CFL to do some crossover. Because the CFL, I don't think it's going to last very long.
The CFL?
Yeah.
CFL's fine.
You think so?
It rates well in Canada.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't. I can never get on board with the CFL. I mean, I enjoy watching it when we have guys involved. Like, I've watched Jonathan Crompton when he was quarterback in the Eskimos or whoever it was he was playing for. Martese Jackson, I just talked to a guy the other day, said he ran into Martese Jackson, who was a star at Irwin High and went to Florida Atlantic. He's going to be back in the CFL for the 2021 season. They'll be kicking off in just a month. So, I mean, I'll still watch if there are players that I know are involved. I just can't get into CFL fever.
I'm just excited that we're 73 days away from kickoff of the 2021 NFL season.
You and me both, brother. And the college football season's coming around the corner as well. Story posted up earlier this afternoon about the North Carolina Tar Heels. Mack Brown had a meeting with all of the players where the subject of the college football playoff expansion came up. Apparently, the ACC reached out to all the coaches and said, hey, we want you to have a meeting with your guys. Talk to them and see what they feel about having the 12-game playoff. And Mac Brown has come back to report that apparently most of his team not interested in a 12-team playoff.
I'm not surprised.
I can't wrap my head around that. Why would you not want to be involved in a 12-team playoff?
Because what's the benefit? All right, so let's just be really honest here. If you're the 12th team that gets in, you have absolutely no shot of winning this thing. And that was from what I read, that was basically what the players had said was,
it's too many.
It's too many. You know, we let the exact quote I saw was, we let the Virginia game slide, we let the Florida State game slide, and once that happened, we didn't deserve to be involved in the national title picture. And we understood that.
Yep.
Here's what you don't seem to be understanding. It's all about the money.
Duh.
It has nothing to do with any of these other things. And we've talked about this on this show. The only reason I'm in favor of it is because I think it fixes the bowl thing. That's it. That's the only reason. There have never in my life been, I'm not the champion of fair, first of all. Mm-hmm. I've never seen 12 teams that I went, well, they could win that. If they got a shot, got on the field with Alabama, they would get, no, they wouldn't. They would get their doors blown off.
Uh-huh. The players were more in favor the players from the Tar Heels are more in favor of a 6 to 8 team playoff, despite the fact that last year, if there'd have been a 12-team playoff, North Carolina had been in it.
That's actually the part that I found comical, was that you do realize you would have been the 12th team last year. Mm-hmm. And I got to say, I commend your honesty of saying, yeah, it wouldn't have gone well.
Yeah.
To me, it's not about the level of competition. It's about having more product to put on the field. It will rate well. It will sell well. It will recoup some of this money that has been lost during Rona times. I mean, my biggest fear has, and will continue to be, I don't know how the ancillary programs are going to survive. Mm-hmm. So anything that's going to pump more money into college football, I'm fine.
Yep.
The name, image, and likeness thing, though, it's my weekly reminder. Just remember, you wanted this.
You wanted this.
Just remember, you wanted this.
You're going to get what you asked for.
Did you see Papa Phil showed up with a little gift for Kayvon Thibodeau?
Oh, did he really?
Oh, yeah. They did an NFT for him.
Oh, cool.
I wonder how much that's going to sell for.
Yeah.
Bet you it's a lot. I'll bet it's a whole mess.
Who was it? Somebody created one. Luka Garza. Luka Garza created an NFT.
Sold for like $6,000, something like that.
It was 60.
Oh, was it 60?
$60,000.
Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau's will sell for a lot.
Yeah.
And guess who gets the money?
Kayvon.
Yeah, weird. It's weird how that works. I'm sure, though, when recruiting happens, that will not be something that sways kids.
No.
That Nike is behind Oregon. As soon as I saw Phil Knight's name, I went, better know what that says.
Yeah.
I didn't even read the story at first. I read the headline about Kayvon Thibodeau, and it had NIL at the end, and I went, I will bet you $1 million that Phil Knight's name is involved in this.
Right.
It was the 8th and 9th word in the story.
Uh-huh.
But, yep, didn't see that coming at all.
Mm-mm.
Who could possibly have ever thought that would be a thing?
Mm-mm.
I also find it funny that SMU seems to all of a sudden be recruiting really well.
Shocker of shockers.
If you want a future bet that I think will make you a lot of money, and you need to get on this before other people figure out what I have figured out. SMU future wins for 2021. The line is 6. I don't see a way, so long as the program does not get the death penalty part 2,
right,
that they don't win 8 games. You take that for what it's worth. I've been itching to give out some form of a football betting pick. I saw that one this morning and went, yep, found it. That'll do just fine.
All right, we'll see how tonight's game is going to shake out in the NBA. We got game 2 of the NBA Finals. Phoenix Suns, Milwaukee Bucks. Jeremy's got his green on green pick, plus the monkey knife fight play of the night coming up next.
Coffee's for closers only.
Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Hell, again, I went 1-1 on Tuesday. We were off on Wednesday. And here we are back with the NBA Finals again. I haven't done this in a minute, but I'm gonna.
Underdog, underdog, underdog.
under. I'm taking the Bucks. They're a 4.5-point dog tonight. I think you're going to see an adjustment by Mike Budenholzer. I know he's not great at that. He's still a great coach. I saw something in game one. Giannis is incredibly limited. So how do you fix that? Even limited, he's still a good post defender. So what do? You don't just play him at center. You play him as the center. And I think you're going to see a lot of that tonight. And I think he'll be a problem for DeAndre Ayton. You take Drew Holiday, you put him on Chris Paul. Drew Holiday gets the Trae Young thing is what I keep hearing is, he didn't do well against Trae Young. Mm-hmm. Trae Young is markedly faster than Chris Paul is at this point. Shifty point guards are what mess up Drew Holiday. That's not Chris Paul at this point. Chris Paul's got that kind of old man at the gym. He's not as fast as you, and he knows he's just craftier than you.
Yeah, he's smart.
And I think you're going to see Drew Holiday on him tonight. I'm not only taking the Milwaukee Bucks plus the 4.5, I'll take them in the money line to win it outright. I'll also take aggressively over on the 220.5. I think this will be a little higher paced, especially with Giannis not just playing big, but Drew Holiday running some more of the point, a little less of Giannis out front. Give me the Bucks plus 4.5 and over 220.5.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
All right, I can foresee another 1-on-1 night coming your way.
That's entirely possible.
I just don't know if Giannis is going to be healthy enough.
I'm just riding the lightning.
He was the only player for the Milwaukee Bucks to have a positive plus-minus the other night. Mm-hmm. He was +1. They were +1 when he was on the court. Problem was he was limited by the injury. Will he be on the court enough tonight to pay off in the monkey knife fight? It's daily fantasy sports props at monkeyknifefight.com. monkeyknifefight.com. Set yourself up an account today, and when you make your initial investment, monkeyknifefight.com will match it up to $100 and also give you a $5 free play if you use our promo code TANK, T-A-N-K, at monkeyknifefight.com. What is the free game tonight?
I think this is $18 free. Because I'm not just opining what I would do. I'm listening to what Mike Budenholzer said about foul calls and things like that. If you want to fix that, how do you fix that? You play a little more physically. And that's what leads to Drew Holiday on Chris Paul trying to stop the flow of the basketball. Mm-hmm. I'm playing the more or less 3.6x multiplier between those Bucks and those Suns. I will take more than 27.5 points for Giannis Antetokounmpo and more than 27.5 points for Devin Booker. I think he's going to see a lot of Chris Middleton tonight. I think Giannis will see a lot of down low. He's faster than Ayton. I just see both of these guys having huge games tonight. I think this is going to be a really high-scoring game.
Yeah, about 6.5 minutes, I believe it was, in game one that Drew Holiday was attached to the hip of Devin Booker. He was 0 for 6. Mm-hmm. I believe you need Drew Holiday to be on Booker to hold him down, but you got to pick your poison.
I'm okay with Booker getting his. I'm fine with it. What I'm not okay with is Chris Paul initiating the offense and everybody getting theirs. I'll let him eat. Devin Booker's going to eat in this series. I don't care who you put on him. I want to stop Chris Paul. I want to stop the ball, and I want to stop the offense.
You're in the Sports Tank with me, Tank Spencer, and him, Jeremy Greene. Sports Center's coming up.
This is the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene.
You look at my numbers, I'm balling.
Beer City's best sports talk is on the air. Get involved. Call 252-4348. Tweet the show at SportsTankESPN. The Sports Tank. Come get you some of this.
Can't wait.
Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene in the Ingles studio on ESPN. Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And the second hour of the program, as always, brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing. Check out our friends at wickedweedbrewing.com. Order all of the watermelon dragon fruit sours that you can handle right now at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed Brewing, drink different. That's my new go-to for the summer, by the way. I have found the perfect summer beverage, and I believe that it is the watermelon dragon fruit sour.
It's fantastic.
From Wicked Weed.
I drank plenty of them in Nashville. Just all kinds of them.
In Nashville.
Nashville, yes.
Yeah.
I have them in Asheville all the time.
Mm-hmm.
To pay off what I said earlier about the sun.
Yeah.
So I spent 4 days in Nashville.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand what I'm getting ready to tell you, but it's 100% the truth.
Okay.
So with the time switch, Nashville is an hour behind us. They're in the central time zone.
Yes.
So you gain an hour that way.
Uh-huh.
Well, when you come back, you lose an hour.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I've seen the sun not up since I got back. The sun has not stopped being up since I've been here. I mean, what does it say at 2:00 in the morning?
Are you going? You just going to bed really, really early?
I don't know. I feel like I get up, the sun's up. I go to bed, and the sun is still up. I wasn't gone that long,
Right.
but it is seriously messing with me. The sun in Nashville sets at like 8:00.
Yeah.
I saw that 4 times, and now I swear to you, the sun has. I just every time I look out the window, yep, there's the sun still up. Never goes down anymore. I don't get dark times anymore.
Like if it never went down, you would notice. You would definitely.
I have. That's why I'm losing my mind. That's why I haven't slept well for like 3 days.
Well, that doesn't make any sense because I mean, if you're staying up past 9:00, it's going to be dark.
Okay, I'm not sleeping well by my rules of engagement with
the rules of
nighttime.
engagement with sleeping.
Not sleeping enough for me is. I mean, I'm gone for 4 days.
If you have to have rules of engagement for sleeping, I think you might need to come up with some different sleeping arrangements. I know you're just 3 years into this whole relationship thing, at least your latest relationship, but you can't carry this on forever. Is she a kicker? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no. No, I don't sleep well.
Destined rule or
no, what I'm saying is I don't sleep well at all.
Ah.
See, she's one of those people that could fall asleep with a roofing nail in her shoulder. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what happens.
Okay.
See, for me, sleep is like a perfect symphony. And the clarinet and the flute and the saxophone and the oboe all have to come in together at the same time.
Right.
Or I don't sleep.
Right.
And I've been going through that for just since I got back.
So
I've been back 3 days. I don't think I've slept 8 hours in 6 days.
like the sousaphone is just out of tune.
The drums, the percussion department is just not pulling its weight. And I'm...
Would you say it's a bittersweet symphony?
Oh, don't verve me. I'm too sleep deprived for you to verve me. You gonna throw out a Fiona Apple reference next?
If I can work it into the program, I'm not really sure any of her songs. But
you factor criminal into my just about outside.
Fiona
story.
Apple and Jewel, they're the same person, right?
No,
not
even close. Actually,
the only thing I know about Fiona Apple is when her first hit came out, like
Criminal.
1996 or something. I just remember watching it, going, "She needs to eat a sandwich. That girl needs a sandwich," in the worst ways.
Funny. That's a line that has never been said at you. It just came from you. It has never been said to you.
No, nobody ever looked at me and went, "That kid needs a sandwich."
Well, they have. The inflection was on a different syllable. You get petulant, people look at you and go, "He needs a sandwich."
He needs a sandwich.
Yeah, it's little. See, you see how the inflection's different? Changes the whole meaning of the sentence.
Right. You get a little bit snippy with your kids out in public. People go, "Somebody get the fat guy some food, please."
Feed
so
him.
He'll calm down.
Feed him. He is angry.
You know why I'm angry? Because it's not football season.
But it's getting closer.
It is getting so much closer. We're just 13 days away from the first opening of training camps. The two teams playing in the Hall of Fame game, the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers, are going to be opening up camp in 13 days. It's so close. Today on Sirius XM NFL Radio, former Philadelphia Eagles head coach Doug Pederson was on and said, so about that whole Jalen Hurts thing, we messed that up.
Yeah, we
shouldn't have done that.
We ought not done that. That wasn't good.
I'm glad that he can finally come around and be a big enough man to admit that a mistake was made. Look, mistakes were made, but it was never our intention to get Carson Wentz out the door. It was never the intention to have Jalen Hurts take over in Philadelphia for Carson Wentz or have any kind of a quarterback controversy. All they were trying to do was just to draft a guy who we thought could come in and learn and be a serviceable backup. Really? And you took that guy in the second round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's that. If that's your explanation, that is a horrible explanation.
When they could have waited till, the fourth round and probably still gotten Jalen Hurts.
I would say so, yes. But it's funny to me. You look at quarterbacks that play the way Jalen Hurts plays. Invariably, if you can't throw, don't give me Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson always had an arm. It just wasn't very accurate. They built an offense around him. It's weird. Guys like, Jalen Hurts, Tim Tebow, Paxton Lynch. It's always the athletic guy. The knock on him is he's just not real accurate. We think he'll figure it out. That's never worked, not one time in the history of the NFL.
That's the number one thing that I want in a quarterback. If my franchise is drafting a quarterback, the number one thing that I want him to be able to do is to throw the ball accurately.
And let's be honest, Marcus Mariota, same thing. Mariota had a cannon, but he was inaccurate.
Yep.
Invariably, it never fails. I said this draft night when they did it. I'm just glad that somebody from Philadelphia, now granted, he's not employed by Philadelphia anymore, so it makes it a lot easier to say these things. I'm just glad somebody finally admitted it. And I'm going to level with you. There is no possible scenario where Philadelphia thinks he's the long-term solution.
No.
None. I get in. Jalen Hurts has become I don't know that he's the number one player in the NFL that I argue about on social media. He's in the top 3, and it's not close.
Baker Mayfield.
No, I don't catch a lot about him.
Really?
I mean, what I do catch is there's a lot of vitriol behind it. Usually has some misspelled obscenities in it, but, that is what it is. Part of the territory. Jalen Hurts, I catch a lot. There are a lot of people that are like, no, he's a winner.
Yeah.
If I never heard that term again in the history of my life, it would be too soon. Oh, he's a winner. Do you know what that term means? He's not very talented, and I don't have a reason that I think he's good, but he won a lot in college.
Right.
Johnny Manziel, he was a winner. Weird until he got to the NFL, and he was a loser.
Yeah, I don't remember many people saying that about Johnny Manziel.
Oh, yeah, it was said constantly.
Really?
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, my draft guide for the year that Manziel came out, I made fun of it.
He's a winner.
Hey, let me ask you a question. I want you to name me the quarterback, any quarterback. I don't care. Any quarterback that's been drafted. Name me the one that was like, 12 and 30 as a starter. You ever remember that? Just a guy comes out and is like, he's got a great arm. Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. They lost all the time. But this team feels really good about him.
Yeah.
No. All these guys are winners. That's why you get drafted into the NFL. But at the end of the day, there's 32 starting quarterback jobs in the NFL. Jalen Hurts is not one of the 32 best quarterbacks in this league. Now his coaches said it.
Sirianni said it?
No.
Oh,
former coach.
Okay.
Basically, every analyst that you've ever heard with a take has said it. I understand I want to be different. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're just going to be different and wrong.
I'm all out on Jalen Hurts. Have been since day one. Thought it was going to be a problem. Guess what? Turned out to be a problem. As Carson Wentz came in, couldn't play with the ragtag bunch of injured souls that they had around him last year in Philadelphia.
And it's weird. That second-round pick that you used on Jalen Hurts, it's weird. That could have been, an offensive lineman. Was the 53rd pick in the draft. That would probably have been a nice place to take an offensive lineman for your quarterback that, looked like he was in the middle of the interstate the vast majority of the time.
Right. Missed 4 games. Carson Wentz sacked 50 times last year.
I also got to hear a lot of the, they put in Nate Sudfeld in the last game, and that was just not fair. Can we be honest about that? Jalen Hurts has been terrible. He wasn't just bad. He was borderline doesn't belong in the NFL kind of bad.
Oh, I don't know. He was a young guy. We saw flashes. If I hear that again.
Yeah, name them.
No, I can't. I can't name them. What I'm saying is that's what everyone will say. When you say, Jalen Hurts is just not that good. Oh, we saw flashes of what he could be last year.
Let's play a fun game. He threw more than one pass in 5 games last year. What was the highest completion percentage he ever had?
47%.
No, you're too low.
54%.
You're close. 56.7.
Nice.
That's the best he ever was. Ever. We crushed Sam Darnold for being a 59-60% guy.
Uh-huh.
And yet, because Jalen Hurts, who, by the way, is not that fast, I'm really sick of hearing that. 40 time, Sam Darnold's faster than Jalen Hurts is. So you stop throwing that one at me because that's dumb. Mm-hmm. Now, Jalen Hurts is a better runner. He can break tackles. I get it. But he's not a quarterback. He's not. I said that when he was drafted. I'm saying it now. And now you've had the coach that got fired that now has no ties to the organization. And the first thing he comes out and says is, yeah, we messed that one up pretty bad. That was, we shouldn't have done that.
And
of course you shouldn't.
Yeah. Nobody
shouldn't. My theory on quarterbacks is the exact opposite of my theory with running backs.
Okay.
I would never, ever take a running back in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who it is. Mm-hmm. Maybe Barry Sanders. That might be the one, and that was a long time ago. I would never take a running back in the first round. Second round, we're getting closer. I would never take a quarterback not in the first round. Ever.
Really?
And that was something Pederson said, is that we were looking to add quarterbacks every year. We just want to. That's the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard somebody say. We want to add a quarterback every year. That's just, it was almost like whether they're good or not doesn't absolutely not matter.
Well, they had to. They felt like they were in a position that they had to because Carson Wentz has an injury history. And so they drafted a guy that they thought, well, we won't skip a beat if we have to get Jalen Hurts in here.
If they thought that's a whole mess of dumb right there.
Well, see, you obviously plan for your quarterback not to get hurt.
But this is something that this is that Tebowing thing again.
Yeah.
You don't seem to understand that when you bring in the college quarterback that we've all seen, there's a part of your fan base that's always going to be delusional to that. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to be really honest about something, and it'll probably hurt some people's feelings, and it just kind of is what it is. As somebody that does all kinds of draft stuff, I watch more tape than probably anybody you will ever hear on these airwaves that's not Mel Kiper, and I think that's probably pretty close. There are a lot of people that don't understand how the draft works. They don't understand that just because you were a good quarterback in college does not mean you're going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I'll give you 500 examples of that. Jalen Hurts is the definition of a college quarterback. Definition of a college quarterback. Could run the RPO, could do all kinds of whatever.
Yeah.
He's not an NFL quarterback. Doug Pederson basically just came out and said that. And you know why he said that? Because he didn't get so much as a sniff after he got fired by the Philadelphia Eagles. And there was a lot of thought that he was behind the Jalen Hurts thing. This was his fait accompli of, wasn't me.
Right.
Wasn't me. Don't look at me. I'm not the one that did that. I had issues with Carson, all that. Yeah. I did not decide to take Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm. We're going to put that on Howie Roseman.
100%.
Who keeps going off the board.
And by the way, just since I mentioned it, I have to kind of say this. Losing that game to Washington, you do realize that was the right call, right? The Nate Sudfeld, putting him in. Everybody just killed Doug Pederson for that.
Oh, the tie?
There are a lot of people that think that it wasn't a tie. No, it was the last game of the season against Washington.
Oh, the last game.
They were competitive, and then they put in Nate Sudfeld, who was horrendous.
Okay.
Let's be real honest. Jalen Hurts was worse.
Uh-huh.
He was 7 of 20 for 72 yards and a pick. Not like he had come out 70% and was just lighting the field up, and they went, nope, got to get some run for Nate Sudfeld. Was Doug Pederson going, we're better with him.
Right.
That was what nobody wanted to say when that happened. And it's 100% the truth. They lose that game, they make all the deals, they wind up with extra capital next year. Yeah, that was the right call.
Mm-hmm.
It was the one thing Philadelphia did right in about a year, in about one calendar year.
Right.
And there are people that think that's why Doug Pederson got fired.
And very well may be. Because now
if that's the case, the whole franchise should have gotten fired. If you let him go for that, you're morons. And there's not a nicer way for me to say that.
You're sending mixed signals now. Now you're just sending mixed signals on what we feel about our quarterbacks. And
there's no mixed signal. Doug Pederson was telling you 100% what he felt.
Oh, I know.
And then he just did it again, not tied to the organization. That's not the guy.
Right.
It's
but
not, period.
But who made the call? Who made the call on the draft pick? It was Howie Roseman. Mm-hmm. Who was behind the Jalen Hurts thing? Apparently it was Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the team. And when the GM and the owner are on, this is the guy, and the coach says, no, that's not the guy. Check this out. I'm going to put Nate Sudfeld in. He's going to be better than this guy. That's you showing up your front office. I'm not shocked he got fired.
By the way, can we just universally agree for this is reason number 7,804 that when NFL owners get involved, bad decisions follow? Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever heard the owner really liked this guy, and it worked out. I cannot name one.
I can't either. I'm trying to think.
Because it's usually either Jerry Jones or Daniel Snyder.
Right.
And the track record there is not great.
Not great at all.
You're in the Sports Tank.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
That's ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene with you here in the Ingles studio. And let's talk fight game. We got a big fight coming up this weekend. Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, 3. It's the rubber match of the series, separated by, 8 years? 7 years? Something like that? The first time that they fought?
First time they fought was in 2014, and then they fought at the beginning of this year.
Okay, so 7 years. So Conor won the first one in his meteoric rise to the top of UFC. And now, after, he took the little break and fought Mayweather and lost to Khabib, and he's only had one win in the last 3 years in UFC when he beat Cowboy Cerrone.
His last win was in he's won one fight. It was against Cowboy Cerrone in 5 years.
5 years. Yeah. Okay, not 3 years.
As
5
of
years.
right now.
Okay. So he is going to fight this weekend against Dustin the Diamond Poirier. And Conor said that he was looking past him, that he was just so focused on the camp that he was getting ready to start for the match, the boxing match that he was trying to set up with Manny Pacquiao. That, he actually said he thought it was more like he was going to come into the ring and pat little Dustin on the head and go about his business and get him out of the way.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
And I don't either. I do not. After you saw Poirier fight Khabib, did you not think that he was going to have something for Conor? Even though he lost that fight, I still felt like he was real competitive.
He's better. I mean, at the end of the day, I think he's a better fighter right now.
Dustin Poirier over Conor McGregor?
I do.
Well, I mean, Conor's what, 33?
He's somewhere in the neighborhood. He and I are close to the same age. He's 32.
32. He's 32 years old. And at some point, you have to expect that the game is going to drop off. I think it's already there. We've already been seeing the slide. And this is sort of must-win territory for Conor. And of course, he's gonna be loud. He's gonna be mouthy. He's gonna talk all the trash that he possibly can and say. And of course, he's gonna say these things. I overlooked him. I'm a much better fighter than him. But in all reality, I think when it comes just Conor McGregor staring in the mirror at himself all alone, he knows that he's not what he once was. And I doubt that he'll ever get back to the top in UFC.
I mean, I fully agree with you. I don't like the lead up to this has been kind of funny to me because I keep hearing how the risk here is on Dustin Poirier.
No,
because Dustin Poirier is at the top of the sport, and you're taking the payday against Conor McGregor. I don't really agree with that because All right, let's just say Poirier loses. Yeah, that's going to knock him. It will knock him down and all those things. If Conor loses, it's over.
Right.
You've lost 3 of your last 4 fights, and the one guy you have beaten is not even in the ballpark of the other competition. You're just not at the top of the game anymore.
Right. He will be forever a gimmick fighter from now on if he loses his fight.
I think all of the risk is on Conor, and I think he knows that. If you had to wager this fight,
yep,
which way are you going?
I'm going to be on Poirier.
I am too.
I'm going to be Poirier. I'm going to be on Poirier, but I think it's going to be a long fight. I think it'll go to the cards.
Do you know what the odds on this fight are?
No.
Poirier is a minus 135 favorite. If you don't know what that means, you have to bet $135 to make 100. Mm-hmm. Conor's a plus 115 dog. Means you have to bet 100 to make 115.
Yep.
It's very close. It's very, very close. And I won't be shocked if Conor comes out and is really impressive. But I keep coming back to but what if he's not?
Right.
If he's not, I don't know where you go from here.
Mm-hmm. If he comes out and he gets blitzed again, because that's the thing. That to me, that was the, like if it had been just an arduous, close, long fight with Dustin Poirier the last time.
It was pretty obvious within a minute.
Yep. He got blitzed immediately and was hurt from Jump Street. And if that happens again, then everybody is going to finally say, no, Conor's washed up. Conor can't do it anymore. We will now insert Conor McGregor into A or B. And A is the celebrity boxing thing that's going on right now. He'll be the biggest star. You know, he'll be doing these celebrity matchups with Showtime as long as they continue to do them. Or B, he'll go join like WWE or something.
I don't think either of those two things are going to happen.
Really?
No.
Come on.
He didn't have to.
I think
Conor makes a ton of money doing other things.
I get it. He just made, what was it, like $60 million or something like that on selling the Proper 12 whiskey brand. I get it. He's got loads and loads and loads of money. He doesn't need the money. I don't think it's about that for him. I don't think it's really ever been about the money for Conor.
I disagree with you wholeheartedly.
Really? In the ring?
Not
in the business world,
I just think there's a lot that goes into the money.
Okay.
I think that drives him, and it's always driven him. Mm-hmm. Here's my.
I think he's a fame junkie more than anything, and he is a shrewd businessman and good at it.
Here's my question. All right, if Poirier loses this fight, he's currently the number one contender to Charles Oliveira.
Okay.
He wins this fight, no doubt. That's his next fight.
Yep.
Let's say that happens. Where do you go now? Like, what does Conor do now? Because there's not a fight in the lightweight class of UFC that draws at all. To me, in any way. Because now you're, for lack of a better word, you're a broken toy. You've lost 3 of your last 4 fights. And I just don't know where you go from there. Now, conversely, if Poirier were to lose this fight, I could see a path where McGregor immediately gets a title shot.
Uh-huh.
Immediately.
Yep.
And then you're back into Poirier, Gagey, Michael Chandler, just a bunch of guys.
Bunch of guys? Really? Chandler's just a guy?
Yeah, he didn't fare so well.
I get that. Yeah. I understand he didn't do well against Oliveira, but still.
Well, here's the thing: when you have the meteoric rise, the fall's pretty meteoric too when you lose.
Right. That star can
and
flame out.
And I like Michael Chandler a lot. What I'm saying is that you get into this level of guys where you're going to have to beat at least one, maybe 2 of them to delineate yourself from them. If Poirier wins, he does that. He's clearly the guy, title shot upcoming. If he doesn't, then he falls into that little mix. Mm-hmm. McGregor wins, he's probably the next title fight. If not, he fights a Gagey or somebody like that. A worst case scenario. I think he would get a title fight immediately. If he loses, I could honestly see him retiring because I don't know where else you would go.
Celebrity boxing.
That's not gonna happen.
You don't think he's going to fight Pacquiao? And he was supposed to.
I don't know that it
spring.
draws. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that. All right, he loses 3 or 4 fights. You've already watched him lose to Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
I don't know that it draws. Manny Pacquiao does not really draw at this point. So, I mean, yeah, you could do it, and you're going to get paid. Mm-hmm. I just don't think it's going to be. It's not going to be Conor level. Put it that way.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
One of the organizations in the U.S. government that has had the most headlines over the last year has been the CDC. And they've once again put out a guideline that I think will help out everyone around, not just the United States, but around the world, especially for this summer season. CDC put out a warning the other day of, if you're feeling a little grumpy in your tummy area, don't go swimming. Don't go swimming at all. CDC says do not leave. They put out this big graphic with a nice little cartoon picture of, or it's actually like a GIF of, looks like a dad and a few children in the pool together, and there's a big water slide. And it says, don't leave your mark at the pool this summer. And then a little girl slides down the slide, and a big old brown trail comes behind her. It's a...
I'm legitimately going to start picking your stories for you.
Why? I have never seen such a graphic warning in a cartoon from the CDC before. It says it only takes one person with diarrhea to ruin the entire party for everyone at the pool this summer.
Yep, it's official. I pick your stories from here on out. You know what I'm getting ready to say. What do I say in this segment every day?
Birds aren't real.
Well, also sound advice and something that needs to be said. But
don't do crimes.
There you go. A public prosecutor in northern Greece has cleared 2 men arrested on drug trafficking charges over the weekend after authorities acknowledged that a white substance seized in their car was glue. It was glue. Wasn't cocaine. They thought it was cocaine. They arrested them. Seized $4,000 they had in cash.
Wow.
Put them in jail. Left them there over the weekend. Well, then they sent this substance to the lab. It was wood glue. It was wood glue that had turned into a powder because it had been left in the trunk of a car.
Huh.
They didn't do crimes.
And still had to spend a weekend in jail.
They heeded the advice. Don't do crimes. And yet, still, spend a weekend in jail.
Yeah.
I have another weird story.
Okay.
This is actually sports related. The American Century Championship Celebrity Golf Tournaments this weekend. So it's what Charles was talking about with Aaron Rodgers about seeing him in Tahoe.
Yeah.
There are 89 participants in this year's field. There is a bet with Caesars Williams Hill Sportsbook.
Uh-huh.
Will Charles Barkley finish in the top 70 of this event?
And how many are there?
89.
Okay.
The bet started at plus 1,600. That was at the opening of the week. It was plus 1,600 for yes.
So it was that 16-1 odds?
Yeah.
That'll
finish in the top 70.
Finish in the top.
You could have bet $100 and won 1,600.
Wow.
It has been bet down to plus 400. 99% of the bets are now, yes, he will finish in the top 7. Let me be real clear with you. No, he will not. He finished in the and this is where I think people are getting a little bit duped. He birdied the 18th hole last year, and he finished in 69th.
Uh-huh.
Do you know how many players played in it?
No.
70. It was 70. He had to birdie the 18th hole to not finish in dead last.
Right. All right. So they have bet this down Four times.
Somebody bet $1,900 at plus 1,400. It would pay $26,600.
In.
If you want to set $1,900 on fire, just set $1,900.
I mean, if I got the
that's also a crime, so don't do crimes.
Right.
But
if I have the scratch, why not take a chance?
Because there is no shot of it happening. And the whole reason is because Charles says he has improved his golf game. And now he is planning on competing. And let me be real clear with
Does
you.
he still look like a drunk Matthew Wolf trying to shoot?
Charles Barkley could have gotten one-on-one instruction from Phil Mickelson every day of the last 365 days. He would still arguably be the worst golfer I've ever seen in my life. And I love it. You love the game and you call it, and I love him calling golf.
Yeah.
He is still a horrible golfer. Horrible. When I was a kid, my grandfather used to have a line about being on a golf course. He played for all these years, and I've never been the worst player on a golf course. And neither have I. 20-some-odd years into playing golf, I've never been the worst golfer on a golf course. Charles Barkley cannot say that. He has many times, repeatedly, been the worst golfer on a golf course.
In this event?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's brutally bad. I don't remember somebody told me one time what his handicap was, and it made my head hurt.
I don't know what that is. So
handicap?
Yeah.
Handicap's basically how many strokes above or under par are you. If you're a scratch golfer, that means you average shooting par at a golf course.
Which means you should be like
Chuck's
on the
like
tour, right?
Chuck's like a 36 handicap or something. I mean, it's something absurd.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's something brutal. But there are people, and a litany of people at that. He's 7,500 to 1 to win the tournament.
Yeah.
If you're going to bet like that, bet $5 on him to win. I'd bet 10. I'd do it. I wouldn't want to.
Well, at this point, you only have to have 12 celebrities be worse than him.
19. Math's not your strong suit, I see.
I thought you said there were 82.
89.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 89.
Okay.
There might not be 19 golfers on planet Earth that would finish behind him.
Maybe if they let me do it, since I've never played golf before. Would you take the chances? If you had to put me, first time ever on a golf course against Charles Barkley, the fact that you're thinking about it is hilarious to me.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't take you.
Okay, thank you.
He's actually birdied a hole, which means he's considerably better than you would be.
I've birdied holes before.
In putt-putt.
Yeah.
Or on Tiger Woods.
Yep.
The golf game.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's it.
And that little golf clash game that you make me play.
I will be 100% honest with you. One of my dreams in life is to play a round of golf with Charles Barkley.
Just so you can embarrass him?
Nope. Just because I think it would be fantastic.
Just to be around him for 4 hours? Yeah.
Just a whole case of beer and, me and Chuck and any other two people he wants to choose.
Well, here's the case. That could be a money-making venture for you because he loves to gamble.
100%. Oh, yeah. And I would have the money would be in pocket. Oh, you want to bet on a long drive? All the way in.
Let's do it.
Can we do that every hole that's not a par 3? There's a chance you might get closer than me on a par 3.
Yeah.
You will not outdrive me.
Right.
Ever. I would love to do that. That's like the dream of all dreams. For those of you that are curious, the favorite to win this tournament is CBS broadcaster and former NFL quarterback Tony Romo. Mm-hmm. He is plus 150. Retired professional tennis player Marty Fish, who won last year, is plus 225. Mark Mulder, former Major League Baseball pitcher, is plus 400. And Annika Sorenstam is plus 700.
That's not fair.
What?
I thought it was all celebrities.
It is. Annika Sorenstam, she's a celebrity.
Well, yeah, but she's also
You're
a
saying
pro
because
golfer.
she's also having to play from the men's tees.
Oh, okay.
They only play from one tee.
I didn't know.
Yeah, that's that. I'll be honest with you. If they let her play from the women's tees, I would bet my house that she was going to beat them all.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've told this story on this show before.
By a stroke a hole.
I have a friend that played on the Nike Tour. Everybody I play with we're all either pretty good or real good. I'm in that fine.
The Nike Tour is what?
Don't quote me on this, but I think it's the Corn Ferry Tour now.
Okay.
I think they all merged into like one thing. And I think there's a separation, but that's basically what it is. That's the level of competition.
Okay, it's only been the Corn Ferry since I've been watching it, so that's why I had to ask.
It is embarrassing how much better he is than me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who. If you know somebody that thinks, oh, I could beat, even the worst player on the LPGA Tour would beat you so savagely that you would never want to pick up a club again.
Mm-hmm.
Ever in your life. And it is shocking how many people think that's not true. 100%. Anybody that says, I played professional golf, just stop right there.
Right.
Done. This is not like any other sport. You take somebody like me, I could catch a pass in the NFL. Now, I'd probably get cut in half and die. And as soon as I got hit, I would probably, my liver might explode.
Right.
Golf is one of those sports. The ones that get to the top of the game, they will make you feel horrible about yourself. Because the worst golf course they play on, the course where you see them go like 30 under, 25 under, whatever the case may be, you'd shoot 100. And I've been told that by more than one person that's played on tours like that.
Right.
I wound up on an airplane one time next to a guy that was in Q school. We were flying back from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And this was kind of what changed my opinion on golf. Because, I've always valued myself to be pretty, I'm not bad. I got a really good driver, all those things. I don't putt well, but whatever. He basically said, take the best round of golf you've ever played in your life. I would be so angry at it that I wouldn't pick up a club for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I play golf courses that are 50 times more difficult than the ones you play.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's golf.
I think it's pretty much every sport. I think that pretty much every sport falls into that category.
The difference between the high end and the every. See, people think it's the closest. I would argue it's the furthest away.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, because I love getting on Twitter and seeing people talk smack about mediocre basketball players. Like, one of the guys that gets
Brian Scalabrine.
Brian Scalabrine.
It's one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
he's a radio host in Boston. And he caught all of this nonsense because guys were like, oh, I could, but one-on-one, I could beat you.
Yeah.
Played 4 games of 21. Combined, it was 84-2.
Mm-hmm.
He shut 3 of the 4 of them out and beat the other guy 21-2.
Right.
That's one of those things you hear in bars and you're like, stop talking.
Yeah.
Just don't. Stop.
If you play in the NBA, if you are able to stick in the NBA for any amount of time, you are 100 times better than any dude you're going to run into on the street.
Completely. A guy that got an invite to a G League camp would hurt your feelings.
Yep.
Repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
You might accidentally hit a 3 when he got tired of just throwing his hand up. And that's my argument.
Right.
Is that you might actually score on somebody playing 21.
Uh-huh.
Somebody did score on Brian Scalabrine's 6'10".
Mm-hmm. On
a golf course, that's not happening. Your best shot is just going to make them angry. Well, watch this. I've only seen it happen a whole mess of times.
A whole mess of times. The coronavirus back in the news today as they have decided no fans. They're not going to do any fans at the Olympic Games. Tokyo, Japan, they are going back under emergency... What is it? Emergency warnings or something like I can't remember the
protocols.
Yeah, there you go. Emergency protocols because of the coronavirus continuing to spread in Japan. And yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. Let's bring in a whole bunch of international people into a hotbed where the coronavirus is spreading. That's a brilliant idea. Look, I don't need fans. I don't need fans at the Olympics. I've never seen one event at the Olympics where I went, oh, I'm glad the fans are here. Because most of the things I watch are like swimming. Don't need fans for that. Track and field. Don't need them. You want to pipe in some noise, you want to do whatever, but I'm fine. Don't need the crowds. But I also wonder, is it worth even having the games at this point? Is there an actual risk to the athletes? I don't know what the protocols are like. They are real strict down in the Olympic villages. I know that. But when you've had so many people screaming, we shouldn't be doing this, and now you've got the government going back to shutdowns, there's a question whether or not you should be bringing in people from 168 countries or whatever it is. And now we're finding out that later on this month, so we're 2 weeks away from the start of the Olympics, 3 weeks until we were supposed to see Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury go for their trilogy fight. And now we're finding out that there is apparently a COVID outbreak in the Tyson Fury camp, which could lead to the July 24th heavyweight championship fight being delayed yet again. No official statement has been made, or no official determination has been made on whether or not they're going to move this fight back, but chances are it probably could happen. I mean, we're going to be locked in either way. Or, well, you said you're boycotting boxing anyway. You're not going to watch the fight. Are you still on that bandwagon, or are you starting to come around to, yeah, maybe I was overshooting it with the whole celebrity boxing thing?
I haven't seen a rescheduling of another Paul fight, so.
Oh, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
If you do one more.
Yeah,
I get it.
I just don't want to watch. I don't want to watch any of that.
This is also a perfect
But that's
example.
also not Tyson Fury's fault. So
No. This is also a perfect example of parenting in 2021. I'm never going to let you do that again. Okay, you do it one more time, and then I won't let you do it again. I knew you were bluffing when you said it.
Don't you judge me. I don't need your condescending judgment.
Anyway, the COVID outbreak, I've seen no reports on who or how many on his team are afflicted, or if any of them are symptomatic or anything like that. Who's vaccinated, who's not, I don't really care. Just tell me when the fight is, tell me when to show up, tell me when to fork over my money.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it too.
Of course you will.
After the break, I need opinions. And I'm going to give our listeners 24 hours to give me opinions, because I haven't found the one I'm looking for yet.
Okay.
But it's something that will affect at least 11 of you.
ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll be right back. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene with you on 92.9 FM, ESPN Asheville. And Jeremy's looking for opinions. What kind of opinions are you looking for?
So we're getting closer to the football season.
Uh-huh.
It's almost time for year 2 of the Sports Tank annual fantasy football spectacular. And so we're going to have a league. Again.
Uh-huh.
I need to know what the shtick is.
Right.
Last year I had to take Gardner Minshew first overall.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I finished second. I'm still very angry I didn't win that. But it was fun, and I got shellacked in the final.
Right.
I need to know what the shtick is going to be this year. And before you say take Tim Tebow 101, I'm not doing that.
We have heard some good suggestions. We have heard make him take a kicker in the first round. We have heard can only take rookies.
That's the one so far that I'm... The only problem with that is then nobody else can have rookies. Because if I'm going to take rookies, then I have to be able to get the ones that I want. Or I'm going to end up playing like Javian Hawkins is my running back.
Yes.
Because all you would have to do is just conspire against me to take all the rookies.
Yep. That would definitely be collusion.
100%.
Lots of collusion on that one.
There shan't be any collusion.
Because I would 100% make sure that I'm picking right in front of you in the first round and take Najee Harris.
Yeah, there shan't be any collusion. But we're looking for an idea, something that would be fun. This year we're going to record this. We'll put it up on our YouTube channel at The Sportsocracy on YouTube. And there will be something to get in it.
Yeah.
As of right now, the leader in the clubhouse of how you get in it is you have to take a Wonderlic, and you have to be one of the 12 highest Wonderlic scores.
Uh-huh.
Which I love that idea.
That is a good idea.
I am a huge fan of that idea. If you have ideas for that, also feel free to submit
How
those.
about you could only take players who play for blue teams? Which limits you to like the Lions and the Giants.
The Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of Cowboys.
Probably.
In that, yeah, I think I'd do just fine with that. But we're just looking for ideas. We're getting ready to start doing fantasy football drafts. You can actually bring us in to do your fantasy football drafts. We have a deal with the Social in East Asheville that will allow us to do those things. If you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to me directly at JGreenESPN. I'm doing all of the bookings for those. Don't have a huge staff on this show. It's a rough time. I have to do all of our own things. So,
right, but we will be glad to host your draft for you, run the draft board, all the draft software. We'll load it up and run it and announce all the picks. We'll have the funny banter back and forth. We can record it with our 4K cameras.
Yeah, we'll bring our cameras. We'll record them. We'll do all of the things.
Yep. Plus, you'll be in the spot that has the best wings in town.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, the drought will be over by then.
Yeah. I miss chicken wings a lot right now. I ate enough hot chicken in Nashville to kill someone, and I still want a chicken wing. So I bet I can stand it.
It is the Sports Tank with me, Tank Spencer, and him, Jeremy Greene, here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, at 1400. Jeremy is taking the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, taking them in the money line. He's taking them plus 4.5, and he's taking the over as well. Game 2 of the NBA Finals tonight. Phoenix Suns. I think they're going to win this game. I would be completely on the other side of you, which would make you feel real good, Jeremy, about your picks tonight. We'll see you tomorrow, right here at 3.